Alright, so good afternoon everyone, I'm Joe Carper. My speech is entitled today, The Transition to an Open America, but there are a few things that I want you to know about myself before I really get into the meat of the speech. Number one, I am a conservative Republican. Number two, I was raised by an entire family of conservative Republicans in a very traditional way. Number three, this is the bumper sticker that you'd most likely find on the back of my car. Her name is Sheila. She's a Subaru Outback for anybody that cares. And it's true, I don't agree with the president on very many things, but there's one thing that I can say that in my life today, I would not be a supporter of unless it were for him. And that's the fact that I'm an ally to the homosexual community. And actually so is my mother, and I contend, and this is where my speech is going, that without the President of the United States today, I would not be that. Now, unless there is a paradigm shift, my point's pretty irrelevant. So here's a Gallup poll which shows that over the last 2 decades, momentum has been growing for support for the LGBT community in their same-sex marriages. It really occurred in 2008 to 2009 range that the battle really started to heat up and equality really started to become a prevalent issue. If you don't like the Gallup, here's the Washington Post poll which shows the exact same thing. And if both of these are too liberal for you, because they would be for a lot of the members of my family, then Rasmussen and Fox will say the same things. I don't really have time to show their data, but it's there, I promise. So, as I said before, it was 2008 when this really started to heat up. That you can see it from the polls. It coincides with the election of this man as President of the United States. President Barack Obama, the 44th President of the United States, is the first sitting president to support same-sex marriage. In 2008, however, he didn't. At that point in time, he announced that he believed that marriage was a union between one man and one woman. However, he ran on a policy of repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which, as we know, is a historical measure that limits homosexual participation in the military. Then in 2010, he announced that he was evolving on the issue, which also coincided with the fact that he refused to defend the Defense of Marriage Act in the Supreme Court should it ever reach there, which it did, and of course in 2013 the law was ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. Finally, in 2012 he completed his evolution. And as we'll start to see, as we saw from the polls, so too did the majority of Americans. Soon after the president announced his support, most of the people from his own party did so as well. Huge names, like Hillary Clinton came out in support of gay marriage. And then the entire country was like, didn't she already support gay marriage? So, I mean, her participation in this portion is relatively irrelevant. It's these people that we need to focus on, though, and their support for gay marriage that grew after the president. Senator Rob Portman of Ohio, and 2 very prominent Republican lawmakers in the House of Representatives. The middleman is a representative from New York, and the woman on the right is the oldest serving Republican woman in the House. These lawmakers came out in full support of gay marriage only after the president did. Earlier this year, Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska did the same thing. Well, she didn't come out in full support, she announced that she was evolving on the issue. These 2 men are very conservative Republicans. Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona recently announced that he believed that it was inevitable that soon a Republican presidential candidate will support gay marriage. The man on the far left is Reince Priebus. He is the chairman of the Republican National Committee, and he is quoted saying that Republicans should stop acting like, quote, Old Testament heretics, end quote, on the issue of homosexual marriage. These Republicans made bold statements in support for gay marriage, especially in a party that's traditionally against it. If these people hadn't done that, I would not have decided that it is okay to be a supporter of homosexuality as a Republican. I was raised in a traditional family, one that preached that it was wrong. However, when the president announced that he supported the issue, so too did the members of his party. When the members of his party announced it, Republicans were afraid of getting left behind when the bandwagon moved forward. They started to announce the support. At that point in time, I realized that it is not a party line issue. So when my absolute best friend in the entire world came out of the closet to me in 2012, I had a reason to change my position. I realized that it's not a party line issue, and today I'm proud to say that I am both a conservative Republican and an ally to the LGBT community. Thank you.